We are, as they say, officially live in the social media airwaves. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome here and happy Friday, by the way, to another exciting and yet an exclusive episode here along Transformation Greatness, along with SBN, the Small Business Network podcast. I am your host here, Sean A. White, founder and creator of a brand called Transformation Greatness, which is all about motivating, encouraging, and inspiring the masses. And we are at 489, ladies and gentlemen. We are pushing close to 500 episodes, and this is just fantastic. I want to do a special shout out for all the men and women that have contributed to really making this possible from such having just a dream and a vision to where it is now. So, for all you out there, men and women and children, we say thank you and we appreciate you. So, with no further ado, family, we have someone here that this gentleman here, in my opinion, doesn't need any introduction. He has been putting in the work. You want to talk about transforming lives, you want to talk about creating impact. Listen, this brother here is so authentic, so true. And when he speaks, people listen. He literally moves and shakes the environment. I kid you not. I had the opportunity to work with this brother down here in Atlanta. We was a part of a summit, and just like hearing him speak, I was just like, wow, like this brother is about his business. So you're probably wondering, well, obviously you see his name, Brother Randall Gilbert, but I want to read just a little bit about Randall Gilbert because you guys need to know this. I would love for you to go ahead and know this. So this is just a little bit of information on who Randall Gilbert is, but there's so much more that meets the eye. Trust me when I tell you. So, Reverend Randall Gilbert is a dynamic speaker, a passionate father child relationship coach, and a relentless father on a mission to transform 1 million lives. I like to make an edit and say about 1 billion lives, but that's just me. 1 million lives, we'll stay with that. That's what you put down, we'll stay with it. Okay. Drawing from real life experience and proven strategies, Randall equips fathers to turn every challenge into a stepping stone, guiding them to continually win their children's hearts and be the heroes a family needs. That's powerful. But also, check this out. With unwavering conviction, Randall empowers men to discover their God given purpose as fathers to pursue their goals with a relentless heart and leave a positive generational legacy. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to present to you once again the founder of Relentless Fathers, the one that only brother Randall Gilbert in the house. Welcome to the podcast, my friend.
Wow, I was wondering who were you introducing? My goodness, man! Thank you, sir. So glad to be here with you and the audience. The Relentless Fathers Army. Again, it God laid that on my heart about 3.5 years ago, and we have been doing our very best to get fathers to understand their role and how important it is, as you read in that bio, the last line, to create generational legacy. In other words, what we teach our children, when we teach them the good stuff, it carries on generation after generation.
Absolutely, 1,000%. So we're going to go ahead and dive more into that because I would like for you to explain the backstory, even though I didn't heard it a few times, but I love every time you talk about the backstory because that's very important. And I just believe that a lot of people, when they see you or they see me or they see others, they only see quote unquote the finished product, if you will, which it's never a finished product. But according to the person's viewpoint, they look at it as a finished product. It's like, wow, that is amazing. That's incredible. And they naturally will put that individual on a pedestal. But I think it's very important to understand the backstory on how that all came about. So before we go ahead and jump into that, I just want to say for all those that's hanging out with us on a Friday, if you're catching us here on the live, put in the hashtag live for us, guys. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And also, if you're catching us on a replay, because we get it, it's a Friday, by all means, put in the hashtag replay. Let us know where you're tuning in from. But more importantly, what is it about this show that really resonated with you? So, Brother Randall, first question is this. And again, if you don't mind, giving us the backstory on who is Randall Gilbert, who is the man, and how did Relentless Fathers come into play? And ladies and gentlemen, you want to hear this, so I'm going to mute my mic, and you can go ahead.
The Relentless Fathers Army came about because you're looking at an individual that did not have a relationship with his biological father, never met him. And the hero in my life up until the age of 14 was my grandfather. I wanted to be like my grandfather. And when he was taken away, the Lord called him home at the age of 14. I realized that there was so much more I needed to know. At the age of 18, I entered the military. And shortly thereafter, I became a husband and then a father, not having any idea of how to be a dad. What did that entail becoming a father that could lead a family? Well, I learned that if I was going to be a father, I needed to learn how to be a father. So I surrounded myself with wise counselors, men who had gone through the storm. And how did they get me to fall in love with them was because they were so transparent. They told me the ups and downs. They told me the scars and the wounds that they had. And and it just reminded me of what I was struggling with. So being with these gentlemen who took me out of the mud and put me on the back of their rides and took me down to the house of worship, not only did they speak life or pour into me, they hooked me arm in arm to make sure that I would never give up, that I would never look back. And they were hard on me at the very beginning. And years later, I said, look, why were you so hard on me? And this was a pastor. And he told me, he said, well, I was obligated to give you the truth. But he said, what told us the type of individual you were was that you kept coming back. You kept coming back. And I did not know a contributing factor in my life. The purpose for my life would be given the assignment by the Holy Spirit to start this Relentless Fathers Army, because I want fathers to understand that I made a promise to my children before they were ever born. Even though I didn't know how to be a good father, I promised them that I wouldn't be absent. And I do believe that when you make that promise, that the Holy Spirit hears you. And even though you're doing the very best you can, if you stay in the struggle long enough, he will bring somebody your way to say, wow, can I help you? Do you need help in this area? And I needed help. And I just want to let fathers know that regardless of whatever side of the track that you come from, with hard work, with dedication, with determination, and again, having men in your life that will pour into you, not on you. And believe me, if you've been struggling doing this, and now all of a sudden you find yourself in the company or in the presence of wise counselors, you will change the people that you hang out with, because you only want to be with people who are speaking life into you, not tearing you down. So that's how this Relentless Fathers Army came about not having a biological father in my life and struggling, making mistakes in relationships. And to God be the glory. I'm telling you, if you make that promise to yourself that you're going to change, and you start to make that change on your own, God will send an individual or individuals like he did me into your life. And then the decision is yours. Am I going to hold on and learn all I can? Or am I going to take this arrogant attitude and say to him, I'm a grown man, I don't need to be instructed? Well, I thought the same way for just about a half an hour in the presence of these gentlemen. And for the last 18, 19 years, we've been stuck at the hip. So that's how this Relentless Fathers Army came about. It was going through my season of disappointment, my season of really being lost,
Mm.
asking, how in the world can I turn this thing around? But I never gave up. I never gave up, and that's what I want, Father. We can turn this around. Our children need you and I. I've got an ebook coming out, and I will let you all know when the date of it will be. But there are 4 pillars to this Relentless Fathers. We are the solid foundation in which the family stands on. We are the walls of protection that protects them from the villains. We are the lighthouse. When we do our teaching properly, when our children go out, they will always be able to see our face and hear our voices. And then we're the runway. Because whenever they need refueling, they always got a safe place to land. And that's
Mm.
Dad's International. Those are the 4 pillars that make up this Relentless Fathers Army.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome. That is awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, if you just tuned in, welcome here to an exclusive episode here with Transformation Greatness, along with SBN, the Small Business Network podcast. We are in episode, it's actually, I'm going to make correction, it's 489 with Relentless Forest founder, Brother Randall Gilbert. You know what? That was definitely powerful, brother. And I have so many questions. Like, so when men are well, first of all, relentless fathers is just only for men. Is that correct?
Yes,
It's just
sir.
strictly for men. Okay, okay,
Yes,
cool,
sir.
cool. So with that, what are some of the things I guess? Because it sounds like I don't want to say boot camp. I don't want to say that. It's another word, but I don't want to say boot camp. But I'll roll with it for right now. So if individuals were to come into the Relentless Forest Army during the boot camp, if you will, what are some of the things that they can expect in the beginning?
Well, if I may say, how do we get individuals into the army? And,
Right.
and it
Okay.
starts with it starts with me. Because if you're going to lead something, you must be proactive. And what do I mean by that? Man, I can't tell you during the course of a day how many fathers I ask, how are you doing? How's the
Mm.
family?
Right.
How's the family? And that is what gets the ball rolling, because many people, many fathers are walking around wishing and hoping that somebody would see them. And it is amazing when you ask that question, hey, how are you doing? They'll tell you. But then when you ask them how's the family doing, oh
Mhm.
my goodness, they will open up to you. Now, how do we build that relationship? Well, then I have to be transparent in letting them know the struggles that I had. If you
Mm.
want people to follow you, you better be ready to be transparent and let them know, hey man, brother, I know exactly how you feel. And then you tell them the story. What can people expect when they come into this boot camp? You can expect people who have their antennas in the upright position. We want to hear from you. We cannot, we cannot walk with you if we don't first listen to you. We got to
Mm,
know, we got to know what is actually grabbing and holding you and won't release you, so that you can be that shining star for the family, so that you can become that hero that will lead your family wherever they may go, or wherever you go, you're leading them. They can expect to be checked in on calls. You know, we're going to make sure that you get what you need. We're going to meet with you. We got a Be Relentless live event, Be Relentless, Relentless Fathers live event. We meet the third Thursday of each month. Go to my website, relentlessfathersarmy.com, and there you can see, you can register to join the movement, become a part of the Relentless Fathers Army, and there we talk about fatherly issues. And I bring a topic every month that we study on. And I always tell the fathers, bring your pen, pad, and your voices, because this is just not a place you come and just sit in and listen.
right.
No, we interact with each other. There are questions, or you can ask questions, and we make you feel at home. So what they're going to get is a red carpet treatment. Welcome to the Relentless Fathers Army. And what we say, look, we're on a ship and we're sailing and we're going to take an island. And when we land, we just don't go charging in. To make sure that we have your undivided attention, we burn the boats. Because
Mm,
the only way off this island is that we got to take it. So we're going to
absolutely.
help you to take back. If you've been hitting home runs and you're ready to hit some grand slams, reach out to us. If you have been in the struggle trying to be this father, like I was, reach out to us. If you have been absent and you want to get back into your beautiful gifts lives, then bring your hard hat, your pick, and your shovel, because we got work to do. If you don't give up, you can have the relationships, or you can take back the relationships with your children.
Absolutely, 1,000%. So it sounds like basically, in order for whoever comes in, they have to make a committed decision. Number one, to bet on themselves, and you know, as which first of all is absolutely amazing. But also too, and just thinking about this too, bro, Randall, and maybe I'll pose as a form of a question to you. You know, especially with us, right? The pride and ego, right? Of like, man, I don't want to be a part of that, man. You know, I don't need no man to tell me how to be a man, and I go ahead and figure it out, and that sort of thing. And that's very damaging too, to even just like you said, have that type of ego, because it has to be bigger than you. And I think that with every man, I think deep inside, if you get away the ego and the pride and all the other nonsense, I believe deep inside every man, we all have that portion of wanting to be the protector, wanting to be the provider, wanting to be, I guess, if you will, the solution oriented individual, and being well respected in the home, right? And being looked at not as with all those things, but also feeling like, you know what, I can come to him, or I can come to my father, or to my dad or stepdad, because I believe stepfathers count too, right? I can come to them and feel like, you know what, I'm safe. I can come in and be vulnerable. I can ask questions. I can share things, and without getting scolded, but getting that sound wisdom. That's what it does. Does that sound about right? What the Relentless Forest Army provides, as far as, to its members, like more so when they're going through it, you're getting to learn about them. They're able to become vulnerable, but also you're giving them tools in which to use to become better fathers, better men, better individuals of society. Is that correct, or did I misunderstand you in any part Okay.
No, you hit the nail right on the head. What we found out, and this was a part of my problem, was that I was stuck. I was stuck, and I did not know I was stuck until somebody spoke to me about it. And the first thing that they had me to do was to forgive.
Mm,
I had to forgive a father that did not make himself available to me. I
wow.
had to forgive him. Once I did that, guess what? I had no more excuses about not becoming better because I had no one now to point the finger at. So a lot of times we find out that fathers have been struggling and nobody had ever told them, we got to let it go. We just got to let it go because it keeps holding us back. Once I began to understand that there were things in me that either I was going to change or I was going to continue to struggle. And every time I would look in my rearview mirror, all I could see was the disappointing people that I'd gone through. I never forget going through a difficult part of the marriage. I used to get off from my job going home angry, going
Mm,
home angry because again, I was looking at what could I receive? What was I going to receive? And I kind of knew what it was. But I never forget, I'm preparing to go into my home and the Holy Spirit stopped me and asked me a question. Who do you think you're hurting going into the house with this attitude? And before I could say anything, he showed me the pictures of my sons.
mm,
And when I opened that door,
mm.
that night, after being with these wise men, because it doesn't happen overnight, people, you got
Right.
to stay with the program. Some things are taught, and then
Mm,
now some things are caught.
absolutely.
Before, when I opened that door, tears running down the face, I walked in and I said, I'm home. And the guys and those sons of mine looked at me and they said, who is this stranger coming into the house? I
Mm,
had to make a change because I was hurting my children.
mm,
At that moment, I understood that I needed to become a giver and not looking to take. I had
mm,
to start giving more of, I had to dig deep to give more of a loving environment, a pleasant disposition about myself so that I could re-establish the relationship with my children. And this is what I want people to understand. It didn't take very long for those relationships before those boys started warming up against me again. All
right.
they wanted to do was to see consistency, was to
Absolutely.
see consistency.
Absolutely.
Therefore, I was able to understand what the Bible talks about. It is better to give than it is to receive.
Mm,
That's
mm,
what I started doing. This is what we tell fathers. Once you forgive, let it go. Now, all of a sudden, you got something that we, along with the Lord, can work with. But as long as we keep holding on to unforgiveness, the only thing we can hold on to is the anger because of what somebody did not give me. You can turn it around. And what you're going through may be the very purpose that God will use for your life.
wow, you know what? That is so powerful, and thank you for sharing that as well. I mean, man, that was amazing. I was actually thinking about. I remember, I talked about this too many times in my presentations. I remember the relationship that I had with my father. It wasn't the best, quite frankly. He didn't want to be active and present as far as me and my twin sister's life, right? And for a while, it was interesting because I developed a hatred and a resentment and an anger because here it was. only thing I wanted when I was younger is just to spend time with him. And it's like he didn't want to spend no time with me whatsoever. My sister, she been done forgot about him. She wasn't even thinking about him. But with me, it was like, man, only thing I wanted to do was spend more time with him. But yeah, when my brothers would come around, he would just shower them as far as with love to a certain point. And I never could understand it. And so after a while, as being a teenager, I just said, man, forget about it. But even when he passed when I was 14, I developed just this anger and rage. And it was like, wow, like I really couldn't understand where it was coming from. But I told myself, you know what? When I become of age, I'm going to do everything in which I can possibly to be the complete opposite of him. Funny enough, as I got into my late teenage years and in my early 20s, I started doing things and acting more so just like a lot of people would tell me. And every single time people would tell me, it would drive me insane. But then people would tell me, well, Sean, hey, you get it honest, man. You get it honest. But I'm glad as far as on what you stated because it comes with a committed decision. And when you know better, you do better, as they say, right? You know better, you do better. And that's why I just believe that with Relentless Fathers, what you have going on, Brother Randall, man, is so much needed in these communities. Oh, man. I know they got other programs and different things out there. Yeah, that's fine and dandy. But based upon of what you have, man, what you have built, what you're continuing to build, man, the 1 million lives that you mentioned as far as to impact, I think that's a misquote. I believe it's 1 billion lives, but I'll let you roll with the 1 million lives. But I mean, just phenomenal work. And I want to ask you, currently, if you would even like to share, because we talked a little bit, prior to, you mentioned that you're working on some other things as well. Do you want to share on that, or maybe another time?
Well, we can definitely share on these things. As I said earlier, I do have a book, an ebook coming out very shortly, and the title of it will be the four pillars of a of the legacy of a relentless father, and I just named them off earlier to you. It's going to be an exciting book. Also, because of the Relentless Fathers Army, again, as you alluded to earlier, I make my home in Virginia, Northern Virginia to be exact. Uh, I have been uh, tasked or contracted to go into the community, some of the communities in DC. Now, the communities of DC are broken off into wards. So, 1 through 8, and I have 7 and 8 wards of DC, Southeast DC, that where I've been assigned to go into and start a Relentless Fathers army, and being able to come to them just like I've been doing for the last 3 years with the original Relentless Fathers Army. I teamed up with Transformers DC.
Mm,
I end up getting this because I want people who are thinking about doing something, whatever it is. Please, as you use that D word, make the decision that this is what you're going to do,
mhm.
and you do everything you can to learn about that particular assignment that you've been given.
Thousand
What
percent.
I'm saying, if you stay with the program, somebody will see you. I
Yep.
got selected to come and serve in these different wards because I was told that I show up
Mm,
every Monday through Friday. I do a 7-8 minute live to fathers, and I've been doing that for three and a half years. It is a commitment. It is a part of who I've become because I always want to give an encouraging word to my fathers. And I do believe that every day I get an opportunity to encourage them. So that's one another thing that I do. I am also in the process of doing hopefully doing some work for the local counties in Northern Virginia. I had a grant writer to sit down with me, and I've got the letters now I have to send off this weekend to these different agencies. The work of Relentless Fathers, and I did not know this, ladies and gentlemen,
Mm.
until I decided that this was what I was going to do. And my wife told me, she said, "You do not know the heaviness or the umbrella that the Relentless Fathers can cover, because we do coaching. If you
Mm.
want coaching with me, go to the Relentless Fathers Army. Now, what I do, I sign you up for 15 minutes of free coaching, and we talk about the areas that you may be struggling in. And then
Excellent.
we will come back with a heavier coaching session. So
Excellent.
go to, if you need to speak to me, go there and sign up for 15 minutes of free coaching, and it'll give us an opportunity of how we can better serve you. Also, uh, uh,
Excellent.
again, speaking, I do speaking to
Mm.
father groups. I'm in the process right now of talking to the Fort Belvoir Chapel to do a 8 week Relentless Father training for the young soldiers, old soldiers, and those who are yet to be fathers, those who are thinking about one day becoming fathers. It's going to we're working out the details right now, but that's just another opportunity that has presented itself, all because of the Relentless Fathers Army.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. And what I love too is that, and one of the things in the which that you stated and which I got out of it is that when you make the decision because you have an assignment, you're not looking for short-term gratification. You're looking to create legacy. You're you're creating something that's going to last from generation to generation to generation. And I love how the way you mention that because we live so much in a microwave society where people wanted things like last year, right? Forget about doing the work. They wanted things last year. But anything that's worthwhile doing, I mean, honestly, you just have to have the consistency and you just have to just show up, right? And part of faith is really believing in things in which is unseen, right? Putting in that work. I mean, just like you mentioned, I see your consistency like every day, folks. He's not lying. He's telling you the truth. Like every morning, like clockwork, he is putting in the work, right? And because of that, he's being recognized. So it kills me how you have individuals be like, oh, this person made it. They're an overnight success. No, do you realize how long it's been? They've been putting the work in and day out, trying this, trying that, investing in this, investing in that. Are you kidding me? No, they're not an overnight success. No, they've been putting in the work. But I get it. And we live in a society again where people only see the finished product. But a true entrepreneur, someone that's truly about their assignment, about their business, they know. We all understand the language. We know hard work, dedication, sacrifice, commitment, resiliency, consistency, the art to bounce back. Trust me, that's our lane, our jam.
That,
And
that, that,
so
that, that is
I
it,
definitely
sir.
salute you. I definitely salute you, my brother. Wow, wow, wow. So we're at 30, close to 30, 35 minutes, my friend. So for all those that's been tuning in, hey, we definitely do appreciate you. If you can do us a favor, please like, comment, and share this out. We definitely appreciate all your comments. By all means, please go to Relentless youngfathersarmy.com. Go ahead and get started today. Anything in which that Brother Randall stated, by all means, get in contact with him, reach out to him. Which, by the way, would you like to share with the listener audience? How can they get a hold of you besides from your website?
You can reach me at, can you, uh, Linktree, Linktree, linktr.ee/Randall H. Gilbert. That will give you every way to contact me, my Linktree address. You can check out my promo video. You can also see the website, my email address, a lot of other areas of reaching out to me that you can definitely wrap yourself around, and yes, let's make contact, because as I said, if there are ladies that are listening to this interview, please send this to a gentleman, a father that you know may be struggling. Share this and let them know that there is a place that we as fathers are coming together with the sole purpose of helping fathers win back the lives of their children and be their heroes.
I want to ask you something about Randy. I was just thinking about it as well because you give so much great content and you have built up such a following and you're continuing to build. So it's not over yet, not even close. I know that you meet once a month, but have you thought about perhaps making it like every 2 weeks?
I have not, but believe me, that discussion, my wife has brought that up to me, and she said
Hmm.
that if as this grows, we're definitely uh, looking at creating communities, larger
Yeah.
communities where people can get more content, can come in at any time, 24 hours a day, get material, and to answer your question, I could see, I could see in the future where we will have to do
Hmm.
the two, the twice a month, and
Right.
maybe even once a week.
Right.
God is showing me that the possibilities are endless.
Absolutely. 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 I mean, bro, Randall, I'm so happy for you, man. Like, man, you're putting in that work, man, and you're one of those that you just don't talk the talk, but you're walking it, man. You're walking it out, and people are seeing your light, and that's just so much of a beautiful thing. And I want to ask you this, and then we'll go ahead and close because there's going to be a fellow young man that's watching this, and he's going to be very inspired by it. And he's going to be like, man, you know what? If Brother Randall can do it, man, like, I know I can do it in my respective area. And more than likely, he'll probably be reaching out to you for pointers, of course. But then there's other people that's going to be watching this, and that's going to feel the same way, but they're gonna be like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm hearing as far as on what he's saying. I'm a young father, a young dad as well, man. But I don't know, man. He's just gonna give me some time, man. I gotta work this stuff out. I got child support on my neck, man. I got my baby mama on my neck. Like I'm just not there yet financially yet. It's certain degrees I'm trying to pursue. You know how you know what I'm talking about, right? So for that young king that's thinking like that, he really wants to connect and be in a space such as this, but he feels that's like super priority in that, well, let me go ahead and take care of this first, and then I'll come to Brother Randall or even do something similar. Almost like you gotta be perfect before you come to God, right? Which, yeah, right. So with that being said, what what would you tell that young man that's feeling like that, but he's kind of torn because it's like, I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to just kind of wait and see.
Well,
If you had him in your office.
you hit the nail on the head early on. You use a word called sacrifice. A
Mhm.
lot of times we can't move or we don't want to move is because we're thinking about, well, what do I have to give up to get all of this?
Right.
It's going to take sacrifice for you to be able to acquire the knowledge and the skills to become that relentless father. So you
So,
got to put in the time. You're going to have to let some things go. And that's why I say to people that you need to sometimes, a lot of times, get rid of toxic minded individuals
mm,
that are not walking with you. You said
mhm.
something also to me. What keeps me fueled up? I have to be in the company of like minded thinkers.
Yes,
I
sir.
couldn't do this by myself. I had to be around people who were going to hold me accountable. Look,
Yep.
I can tell you now, young
Yep.
man, when I was doing it all by myself, I found myself all by myself.
Correct.
But when I made the decision to reach out to say, okay, I am going to accept this challenge. Why? Because my family is so worthy of me giving the very best that I can. I'm I promise you, God will not allow your good deeds to go unrewarded. But
Mhm.
we can't do this in a microwave mindset. We have to understand that we're not in a race. This is a journey.
Absolutely.
This is a journey. So when we're on that journey and we realize that this doesn't happen overnight, when you start to accept this, what you're going to find out that you're going to find joy in the midst of being uncomfortable.
Mm,
When you're sacrificing, you're going to be uncomfortable. When you're
mhm.
sacrificing, your friends are not going to want to hang out with you. You're going to have to find you a new set of friends. They're
Absolutely.
going to be sacrificed. And look, like for me, I'm not bragging about this, but I get up every morning at 2:30. I don't have to be to my workplace until 6 o'clock. But if I'm going to be the very best that I can be to help fathers, guess what? I got to study. I got to read my word. The reason I get up at 2:30 in the morning, my wife is screaming at me, my phone is ringing, the
Yep.
emails are jumping off, the
Right.
kids. I got 5 grown children.
Mm,
I've got 5 grandchildren, and I've got 2 great grandsons. And let me tell you something. The children, this is a blended family. This is
mm.
a blended family here we're talking about. And
Right.
guess what? I love on my blended children just like I love on my 3 boys. So I want fathers to understand it can be done, but it takes work. It was not their responsibility to make me feel comfortable. When I married this young lady here, I told, give me your number, give me their numbers. And I started to step out and build relationships. I'm called Pop. I'm called Dad, all because I knew it could be done if I just stayed the course. And as you said, when we know better, we do better.
Correct.
So challenge yourself, fathers. Challenge yourself, young men. Challenge yourself, those that have been absent. I can have it back. I can have it all back, but I got to understand that it's more about what I give than it is what I receive.
Mm, powerful. Ladies and gentlemen, you have just been blessed with true greatness here with Randall Gilbert. Do us a favor, if you will. Definitely make sure that you reach out, follow him on all of his social media handles, get in contact with him, really have a conversation, build up the relationships. And I'm telling you, this brother here, he brings a lot of value. I mean, the same way that he is in StreamYard, trust me, I can tell you in person, he's the exact same way. It is like, it's just amazing, man. I'm just super proud of you, bro, for real. So I'm definitely going to send you a copy of this, and also like, and also too for all my for all my hosts out there that's having speaking events and conferences. Listen, if you're looking for a powerful brother, powerful speaker. Hit him up, brother Randall Gilbert. Shoot him a text, shoot him a DM, and be like, "Hey, brother, I would love for you to be a part of this speaking event. What is it going to take to get you in the room?" And you guys go ahead and take it from there. Brother Randall, any final words for the listening audience before we wrap this up, my friend?
Yeah, you've been congratulating me all throughout this throughout this interview. But sir, I want to congratulate you for your consistency. 489, 489.
Yep,
Well, I guess, man, when we did our program a couple of years ago, you was around the 200 or just entering into the 200 arena. And
right.
look at this. So again, look at this brother who has talked to some very important people. And I'm just so thankful that you would allow me to come on and be a part of this interview because I know you talk to strong minded leaders each and every day. And that's why I strive to do what I can do for the fathers because we can have a prosperous life if we're willing to put in the work. So thank you for this opportunity to come before your audience and just to tell them a little bit about the Relentless Fathers Army.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Well said, well said. So, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your Friday evening. This has been another powerful and exclusive episode here on Transformation Greatness, along with SBN, the Small Business Network podcast. This is actually episode 489, and we're going to end this segment like we do all by others. And if what we stated on here either motivated, transformed, or inspired at least one person, and may God be the glory, and we take no credit for absolutely none of it. Until then, you all been amazing. We appreciate your time. By His grace and mercy, look forward to seeing you all on the next episode. Peace and love, family. Thank you so much. Good night.